Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties is a hefty helping of Like a Dragon set to bring more of what fans want. Arguably now more than ever, developer RGG Studio has built up a reputation of being almost too generous in its mission to appease Like a Dragon fans. Only last year was the series treated to an admittedly middling TV show adaptation, for instance, while 2025 kicked off with fan favourite madman Goro Majima starring in his own seafaring pirate adventure. Because of course he did. Barely 6 months can seemingly go by without some form of content relating to Sega's Japanese crime drama releasing. Well, my theory has been proven yet again with the reveal of Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties at this year's Tokyo Game Show. I got to play roughly 30 minutes of both games at a recent preview event, and what do you know, they promised to deliver the same blend of narrative melodrama and madcap beat-em-up action the franchise is known for. Only now, it's brought in line with the modern visuals, voice dubbing, and open exploration we've come to expect. As what Sega is dubbing an extreme remake of the 2009 PS3 original, Yakuza Kiwami 3 definitely looks set to continue the trend of successfully overhauling the graphics and mechanics of the Yakuza games currently stranded on 2-generation-old hardware. That said, it's been 8 years since the previous Kiwami remake broke cover with Kiryu's second outing, and as a result, Yakuza Kiwami 3 looks to be a significant technical leap in terms of scale and ambition. What this means is that exploring the sunny coast of Okinawa Island has been rendered just as beautiful as roaming across Hawaii in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Pirate Yakuza. But you better believe you no longer have to do so by foot, since the franchise's now trademark Segway reappears to help give 3 a slightly new feel. My demo for Yakuza Kiwami 3 took place early on, with Kazuma Kiryu mostly keeping a distance from Kamurocho's seedy acts roughly 6 months after the conclusion of Kiwami 2. He and his adopted daughter Haruka are enjoying relative peace until an unexpected eviction notice threatens to draw him back into a life of crime. This paved the way for a section where, if I'm honest, Kiryu falls into a routine that is mostly business as usual. Promptly dropped into a region of Okinawa known as downtown Ryukyu, it wasn't long before I was dishing out street-level beatdowns on groups of ruffians, engaging in zany minigames like karaoke and golf, and just generally getting involved with sketchy antics against rival crime families. For the most part, this is exactly the kind of thing veteran Like a Dragon players will want. Equally though, if you're a more recent player who jumped on and enjoyed Yakuza 0 and have kept up to date via the Kiwami remakes ever since, Kiwami 3's fresh setting and Kiryu's dual fighting styles does plenty to keep the over-the-top throwdowns interesting. I myself am in this unique position, and even after playing just 30 minutes, I've come to appreciate just how much this plays like a modern-made prequel to Infinite Wealth, as opposed to a 15-year-old open-world game. Kiryu can switch between 2 styles of fighting, the Dragon of Dojima, Kiwami, representing his classic style by seeing him lean into quick-paced melee attacks and satisfying grabs and throws. Far more interesting and varied though is Ryukyu style, which when switched to sees Kiryu magically equip weapons like the Tonfa, Teko, and Staff. My favourite ended up being the Tenebe Rochin stance's sword and shield-like setup that enabled me to play offensively and defensively in equal measure. Ultimately, Kiwami 3 always lets you unleash fury at a fast pace, but there's definitely a sense of finesse to both fighting styles. Perhaps the more exciting component of this package is Dark Ties, an all-new built-in expandalone story of sorts that focuses on Yakuza 3's Yoshitaka Mine. Although my time delving into the new game was brief, what I played indicated that it'll be a prequel to the main campaign that follows Mine's rise from innocent businessman to menacing crime boss. Obviously, by the time we meet him during the main Yakuza 3 campaign, he's already risen up to the rank of Tojo Clan Lieutenant. The version I was introduced to in my demo for Dark Ties, however, more closely represents a man desperate for answers and seeking any way to get back at the clans who wronged him. From what I could tell, Dark Ties will take place almost entirely in the returning map of Kamurocho, unlike Yakuza Kiwami 3. My portion of the demo saw Mine tailing a recently emancipated criminal from prison throughout the neon-lit city streets, eventually confronting him in what is presumably the first example of him dipping his toe in the Yakuza world. Luckily, much like Kiryu and Majima before him, he comes packing a handful of different fighting styles that makes him a force to be reckoned with. Beating down ruffians as Mine mainly revolves around boxing-based combat, with left and right hooks working working alongside springy leaps that can see him pounce from one enemy to another at great speed. His inability to grab sees him handle very differently to Kiryu, in a fighting style that overall feels a bit more precise yet powerful than any of those featured previously. Hitting R2 will see Mine activate up to 3 of his shackled hearts, at which point he enters a mode called Dark Awakening, where regular punches and leaps hit harder and combo attacks come off as more devastating. Since my time playing as Mine in Dark Ties only served as a small taste, I left this portion of my demo still curious about the exact kind of experience we should expect. Getting some never before seen backstory for one of Yakuza 3's key side characters is cool in concept, but I'm not really sure stranding him solely in Kamurocho will give Dark Ties the variety needed to truly stand out. Plus, the jury's still out on whether it will work purely as a DLC to the main Kiwami 3 campaign, although it is playable separately and accessible at any time, or whether or not it will skew closer to one of the Yakuza spin-off games, like say Judgment. There's talk of an underground fighting club scene they will be able to take part in, yet sadly, I didn't see any of this during my brief demo. I know it's never a bad time to be a Like a Dragon fan, but yet again for 2026, RGG Studio and Sega will seemingly be pulling out all the stops to keep this incredibly dedicated audience fed and entertained. Is it a slight bummer that the true Ichiban starring sequel to Infinite Wealth doesn't seem to be on the horizon? I guess, but then it's also been a while since a new Kiwami remake has reared its head, and so far, from what I played, 3 intends on being a significant step up compared to Yakuza Kiwami 2. The new Dark Ties expandalone story also helps make the wait for the next Like a Dragon game go down easier too, since it should at least offer up a new perspective to 3's main events. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties promises to be a mostly familiar, but still incredibly generous and surprising total package then. And regardless of whether you're a longtime fan ready to revisit the sun-drenched orphanage escapades of Kiryu's third outing, or primed to experience it for the very first time, the Japanese gangland beatdowns promise to be presented more gloriously than ever before in this dual-edged package. So that just about does it for our short hands-on impressions of both Yakuza Kiwami 3 and its Dark Ties expansion. Are you intrigued? Be sure to let us know in the comment section below. Then why not subscribe to the All Out Gaming YouTube channel to stay up to date with even more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.